Dick best is always there.
It's always together.
And sometimes it will raise its head.
Okay.
And sometimes it will go back.
And sometimes it ducks
And
down.
sometimes it goes back below the surface.
Greetings, movie fans. You're all very welcome to the Big Reviewski with Omniplex Cinemas and my Omnipass. My name is Eoghan Doherty, and I want to apologise in advance because this week's show is packed full of C words. Yeah, I know, it's pretty awful. We are joined by the captivating Denise Curtin.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're getting
Curtin.
Another C in there.
Yeah.
The cuddly Paul Moore.
Oh, you got... Rory's far more cuddly than me, I think.
Come on.
No,
I
Rory
don't
has
like,
his own word.
I don't
Rory's,
like even like handshakes.
Rory's word is coming. Rory's word isn't coming. Rory's word will be coming. Rory's word isn't coming. Let me specify. So we got the cuddly
Asterisk.
Paul Moore, the captivating Denise Curtin, and the ever-calculating Rory
I was
Cashin.
doing a calculating
He
thing.
is.
We
He's so
were
calculating.
waiting to hear what it
Yeah.
was.
So we got the captivating Denise Curtin, the cuddly Paul Moore, and the ever-calculating Rory Cashin, which are all pretty accurate. We'll also have competitions, conversations, and the actual C word. I don't really want to say it.
It's too early.
It's
I know
too
exactly
early,
what you're
isn't
thinking
it?
of. I know exactly what.
But
word
we
it
have
is.
to say it because it's the name of one of the films this
Xmas.
week. Xmas, yeah. Last
That help?
Xmas will
Last
be coming
Xmas.
up.
Yeah. Hopefully the last Xmas.
So what C words would you apply to Mr. Doherty over here?
I hate saying it, but charismatic.
Oh, God.
Oh, charismatic,
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I was thinking of-
Doherty, by the way. I don't know who Doherty is. Yeah.
I don't know who charismatic is either, so...
Caring.
Caring, thanks.
See, we're in,
Oh, so we're all just
Charismatic,
lying.
caring.
All right.
See,
What's your one?
Rory, we're in the spirit of the C word now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, my C word's in a different spirit, so let's just...
Yeah, that's what I originally wanted to go
How
with.
strong is the bleeper?
Do we need the bleep machine?
Yeah.
Okay, well, go on, say it. Say it, Jim.
You're a right old...
Carey.
Come on, you can do it.
If
Don't be
you'd like to
chicken.
get in touch with the Big
You're
Reviewski
not
and tell us
Mariah
what
Carey.
your favourite C word is, you can tweet us at Big Reviewski. You can get in touch on Instagram, on Facebook as well. We'll give out Rory's home number after the show as well, so stay tuned for that.
I mean, that'd be nice. Someone would finally ring.
Does somebody actually call Rory?
They could just tweet you directly.
It's the last landline in Ireland. It's going to be in a museum someday. But again, you've been born in 1941. You're very attached to old-fashioned, archaic pieces of technology.
I absolutely
The
am.
joke just keeps coming back.
All the time. It's time for the big question on the Big Reviewski. Now, on last week's big question, we wanted to know what's your favourite scene in a Martin Scorsese movie. What did you go for again, Paul?
De Niro walking in the bar to Jumpin' Jack Flash in Mean Streets.
Mean Streets, of course, Rory.
The Auschwitz scene from Shutter Island.
Of course, a barrel of laughs always with you.
You know me.
And I went for Finding the Bodies in Goodfellas. Any particular?
Because that's hilarious.
You know, yeah, it's so hilarious. It's got a good tune that Layla's in it. Any particular favourite?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Well, there you go.
All of yours are great.
For everyone else who got in touch, thanks very much. Keith went for The Wolf of Wall Street, start to finish, which I don't know if that applies as an actual scene.
Two scenes to that. I'd say either the chest thumping or the Quaaludes have to be the best scenes in that.
Both
One
good
of them,
scenes.
I'd say, yeah.
Darren went for Nicky screaming at Ace in the desert in Casino.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's Pesci and De Niro as well. Shauna went for the scene in the lift at the end of The Departed, but we can't talk about that because it's a spoiler. But it's an amazing scene as well. And then basically everyone else went for a scene from Goodfellas. So Mark went for the dinner in the Ma's house. Paul went for Jimmy, saying, never rat on your friends. Feels like Paul, not you, Paul, but this Paul.
I
he
rat
may
on
have
my
been
friends
hurt.
all the time.
Yeah.
You sail them down the river like that.
Touts out. Visit Derry. Sharon went for Joe Pesci in the funny house scene in Goodfellas.
Yeah.
And then Kevin, Paddy, Brian, all of these other people went for the same answer. The tracking shot from
Oh,
Goodfellas.
that's the one I mentioned last
Yeah,
week. Yeah, it's great.
whenever Henry is walking car
when you
into the
didn't
club.
know.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I
You didn't know, do you remember?
Didn't know?
I didn't
Did
know.
and own.
Oh, didn't know one. Gotcha.
Didn't know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, didn't know.
Sort of. Didn't know. But for this week's big question, it's over to me, Eoghan Doherty, and with Le Mans 66 aerodynamically.
Accent.
Yeah.
It means,
Nailed
it
it.
means the
Le
man.
Mans.
The man.
Yeah,
The man.
66 men.
We will have a review of that
seen
film
that one.
coming up later on in the show. But because it's basically about Ford versus Ferrari, which was the title of the movie for a while as well.
It still is the title, I think, in America.
In America,
It's
yeah.
fine.
Oh,
It's a different title
That
over
would have
here.
been a better title.
Much better.
Anyway, Ford versus Ferrari. I wanted to know what is your favourite movie car of all time. I know there's so many amazing vehicles in the movies, but specifically talking about probably like a four-wheeled vehicle that drives on roads that kind of is in that category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Oh no, I'm already seeing that there's some asterisks in there as well.
Well, now I think I'm okay.
Okay, well, I'll go for my one first.
All right.
Okay.
Rude.
Yeah. Well, here we go. I went from 1993. Favorite movie. It didn't fare too well, but favorite movie car vehicle.
The movie didn't fare too well.
No, the movie did amazingly.
I think
the vehicle
I'm
in
going to
it.
guess. Is it green and yellow, perchance?
It is green and yellow.
Fair
It's-
play.
Yeah. It's the Ford Explorer from Jurassic Park. Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because it looks amazing.
I mean,
Yeah, you can't.
it got
you can't
crushed to bits.
drive it.
What do you mean you can't
on a
drive
track.
it?
It's on a track.
No, but it's an actual vehicle, because what happened was whenever I was researching this answer, so many people have built their own version of this Ford Explorer. Like with the paint jobs, with the interiors and everything. Not so much the dinosaurs,
Yeah.
No.
but most of the other details.
What about the annoying kids in the back?
The annoying kids.
about the
Did you
What
want
about
the
the free
car?
binoculars?
Like, did you
Oh, I
dream of
wanted
having?
cars. So-
Okay.
But the box in the back, that's the real, all the toys.
binocular
with the
box.
Yeah.
binoculars.
That's
you want
amazing
them,
with
yeah.
the flares and everything. But what happened was whenever I was a kid, I had a little Ford Explorer toy, not this though, and it was like a little like park ranger one, and I used to pretend that it was one from Jurassic Park, and then my mummy and daddy actually got me a little toy Jurassic Park one, and it was the most amazing thing in the
I
world.
had that
As
Jeep
well.
and I had the, do you know, the Jeep Ellie Sattlers in it, so
Yeah.
with the grappling hook. I thought they were the coolest thing. We talked about this before, but yeah,
They are
they're
so
very cool.
cool.
I don't know if maybe it's just because I haven't been paying attention, but I remember like when the toys from movies were the greatest thing. Like
Yeah.
Jurassic
Oh,
Park.
they were the best thing
Aliens
ever.
toys as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do they make them anymore? Aside from like, teddy bears and stuff.
I feel like now every film just has a pair of pajamas. Like that's
There's
And,
loads.
and bed covers.
and
But
bed
like
sheets.
Star
yeah.
Wars and
Wars,
Marvel
yeah.
make an absolute fortune
Is
off
that
their
not just all
merchandise.
Lego?
No, it's everything. If you go
Alright.
to like the Disney store or
Hey,
something.
Rory, if I get you for Secret Santa for this C word coming, I'll get you some toys. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. All right. That sounds decent.
So that's good. That's a deadly pick.
But like that's the one I would go for. That I would be the envy of all my friends, which is the main point.
Anyone
out of
does
any of
anything.
this.
And you
Yeah.
can be friends with Rory's. Within a few weeks ago, you said your cinematic hero, the one who represents you most, Alan Grant.
Oh, Jesus. I
Yeah.
thought I didn't know where that was.
Would you say you want to be
Okay.
buddies with Alan Grant? Yeah.
Yeah,
Or-
that does sound like something I would say.
Yeah.
So this is a little look at the Ford Explorer from the Jurassic Park tour. I said they get completely banjacks, but it is one of the most iconic moments in cinema history.
Turn it off! I'm sorry! I didn't know.
So yeah, that was mine, and I've made it my life mission. I'm going to actually build one myself.
That's
Build
definitely
one?
a lie.
I'm going to build one.
You're gonna make your own car.
Yeah, they have the video like instruction ones on YouTube of how to do it.
Yeah, fair. Okay.
Well, like Jurassic Park's enclosed, and you got the walls of Derry there enclosed. So
Yeah.
like, it's perfect.
It's perfect.
All we need now is dinosaurs.
The DUP.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Sorted.
Yeah.
Happy days. Paul, what did you go for?
I went for something. Speaking of
The DUP.
that part of Ireland, it's a car that's manufactured in Ireland.
Oh,
That not many people know. I don't think it was manufactured in Ireland because there was only a very few selected and made, and they moved out. Which is the DeLorean.
whoop.
From we all know what it's from. Has to be Back to the Future. Yeah, just even in terms of the design, I remember when Zemeckis was making it, said they needed a car that looked futuristic enough that it almost felt like a spaceship. Because I think the original pitch for for Back to the Future was like a fridge or something stupid like that for the time machine, and they went for the DeLorean. Just brilliant film. Love it to bits, and I love the evolution of it throughout the. Obviously, it comes at the end, goes where we go roads, where we go we don't need roads, and then it evolves into the flying version of it in the second film, and then you got the train, which is cool. But we're sticking with cars. I'm going to go for the original one that we saw in the Pine Mall all those years ago when it hits 88 miles per hour.
I actually saw a DeLorean in real life, and somebody had because the registration plate in the movie is out of time, and because you can hire those for people's birthdays and things like that now.
Oh.
And they were driving, I think it was like the motorway between Dublin and Cork, and I think like I forgot to take my turn because basically just driving behind them for ages because it just looked so amazing.
Were they not going 88 miles an hour?
No, slightly under, so they didn't disappear at any point, thankfully.
I remember
And
I
we're all
went
sticking
to
to the speed limits.
Universal. I got my picture taken. This must have been about 6, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever going in. It's like, still is.
It
That
is
is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
The doors on
Yeah.
it.
That was like 6, and I'd be like 56 going and getting a picture taken. It'd still be cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and flux capacitor. Can't beat it.
And I now need
Rory hates Back to the. Why do you not love this car?
Oh, do you?
Okay, what did you
You're
go
keeping
for?
very quiet though,
Yeah,
so
no,
it's
I
I
a bit
just
weird.
don't want like everyone's entitled to their own opinions. I mean, so no, I went with.
I can travel in time. My car can be
Yeah.
any time.
Really,
Yeah.
like at least that you can drive your car as opposed to on the rails one
Come
here
on,
that he has to build himself.
I'm gonna do it. Mark my words.
I went I went with the car, if you can call it that, from Mad Max Fury Road.
Nice.
Which
but
one?
It's, well, you'll see. It's the one that is actually a mobile speaker system
Oh,
that the
yes.
flamethrowing guitar player is
Well, that's handy.
bungee roped onto.
As accessories in a car go, it's a pretty spectacular
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I'm going to build this one.
Is this something you could see yourself driving around Dublin?
I can see
I can
myself
see
being
Rory
driven
like
around.
this guy
I can
in
see
a
Rory
red
playing guitar on
yeah,
that.
red
yeah.
onesie with a
Yeah.
flame-throwing guitar up in front of it.
That's me coming in from my house every
What is
morning.
that the 46A? No, it's
No,
Rory
it's
on the front
Rory.
of his
Yeah, it's
homemade.
not a lot of traffic when I'm on the road.
That is an incredible vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's just. I remember the first time I seen that in the cinema, I was like, okay, well, thank you, George Miller, because cars is. My car is going to kick both your cars'
But
asses.
it passed the NCT
So-
though.
Is this,
Like,
This is true.
was
It's
this
tough-
car
it is tough to
actually
get
a thing,
insured.
though? Did they make? Was this fake?
No, they
No.
made all
Oh.
of these vehicles for the film as well.
Yeah.
And loads of the stunts they actually did them. That was the thing about George Miller.
George
'cause-
Miller's a madman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but he's great. Like,
an
yeah.
absolute genius.
See, because earlier on you were like, it needs 4 wheels and to have driven on a road, and I had to I was like, it definitely does have 4 wheels. Is it on a road? And then I remember the film was called Fury Road, so I was fine.
So you're
Yeah,
sorted.
it's a type
perfect.
of road,
Yeah,
so it doesn't
exactly.
matter. Road.
It's
Yeah.
in the title, so it qualifies.
Yeah.
yeah, plus it's in the proximity of both Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy, so good times.
Also works as well.
Yeah, here's the lads playing the drums on me car.
Three terrific vehicles so far. The DeLorean.
Vehicles.
Vehicles.
Sorry,
Vehicles.
3 terrific vehicles.
I'm excited.
Does yours have a name? Or it's just that thing from the Mad Max Fury Road film?
We could assign it a name now. The flame throwing drum speaker truck.
Rory
There you
Matron.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rory's car.
Rory's car.
Rory's car.
Yeah.
There we go. And mine was the Jurassic Park Jeep there as well. Denise, what did you go for?
I feel like I always go for a chick flick when I'm on this show. I don't know why it happens,
That's
but
okay.
I
Love our
just
chick flicks.
I
Mad Max
fall-
Fury Road is the ultimate chick flick.
This
Charlize
is true.
Theron.
Yeah.
This is true. I always fall onto a chick flick when I'm trying to think of a film for this show. So yeah, I picked Pretty Woman, and I
Nice.
picked, of course, The Lotus from that because it just reminds me so much of growing up and thinking, I want that car.
Because you were. Gotcha. Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on.
It's
Don't-
so my childhood.
Don't
Like
they,
I relate to her deeply.
don't they describe this car as driving like it's on rails?
Yes.
And your car does
Oh my
drive
God.
like
Yeah.
it's on a
It's
rail.
meant to be.
Yeah, except mine's actually realistic and can drive on a
Yours
road.
is a real.
Yeah,
You
it's a
don't
real.
build your one.
It's a real car. Yeah, I could probably purchase it in like a vintage fair or
In a
something.
few years,
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, when I'm grown up. But yeah, it's one of those cars where she just like takes over the wheel and she's like, let me drive it because you can't drive right. And I was like, yes, you show them how it's done. The like 11-year-old me being like, work it. Not knowing anything about what the film was about, but
No.
agreeing that the car was stunning. So yeah,
Those two people are so friendly.
Yeah.
And he keeps handing over money. That's nice.
so good to her.
So from Pretty Woman, it's the Lotus.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the Lotus Esprit or Esprit. I don't know how you'd pronounce that word, and
Does
I'd
he-
be
at the
afraid
end,
I get bashed
Does he come and pick her up at the end, or is he in a limo?
He's
When
in
he
a
picks her
limo.
up-
Yeah.
I
At
was
the end.
thinking,
Yeah.
because he doesn't know how to drive because he's like, I usually only drive limos, and she's like, ugh, yeah, what a prick.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at the Lotus.
Esprit. I feel like we should go
Okay,
with.
that's
Yeah.
It's just this image.
Oh, there's no. Oh, okay. Let's throw the clip.
There it was.
That was great. That was the
Just
best clip
reenact
ever.
beep, 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 beep. That's the gear stick. Go for it. Right. Okay. Well, that was good. That was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Okay. Great shout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 phenomenal vehicles. If you would like to let us know what your favorite movie road vehicle is, yeah, you can get in touch.
None of us picked the Batmobile.
I know.
No Batmobile. Any
None of us
them?
picked a James Bond car.
No James
I was
Bond.
tempted, or the car from Bullet, which is the famous one, the McQueen one as well.
Of course.
No
And
Fast and Furious.
None of those.
And we've all done an own and given different answers as well now.
Well, we've all picked. We said which ones we didn't pick.
Yeah, that's true.
Which
Yeah.
none of us picked. So
fair
technically, it's not doing on.
But yeah, if you or you
I do
mentioned
feel
the
Bond
Ghostbusters one as well.
The Ecto
one.
yeah. I do feel though a Bond car would be a different question on itself because there's
Yeah.
so many.
Yeah.
There's loads of them. 100%.
We'll keep that for No Time to Die. That's what it's called, isn't it?
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
So yeah, if you'd like to let us know what your favorite movie road vehicle is, you can tweet us, you can get in touch on Instagram or up on Facebook as well, and send those in to us because we're actually reading them out now these days. So when you send them in, we actually do read them. So thanks for that.
Call in.
Oh, now though, it's time for the big trailer and the big Reviewski, and for this week's big trailer, it's over to Palmer.
Yeah, it was actually
Cuddly
really,
Palmer.
really good week for trailers. We had the non-Man Smurf Sonic redesign,
Yeah.
which was interesting. And
I like that trailer.
he actually looks not threatening and will
Yeah.
terrify your dreams. So I was tempted maybe that. We also had Michael Pena ruining his image.
Yeah.
In Paradise Island.
Because he's normally such a nice
Fancy
guy.
Island, sorry, I beg your pardon. Fancy Island, yeah. Which was a really interesting thriller, but which is Blumhouse. But the one I'm going for is also has Blumhouse fingerprints on it, which is the remake of Invisible Man, which has Elizabeth Moss, who we know from Handmaid's Tale. Looks really, really good, but also very topical in the sense that she has this really shitty boyfriend who's kind of emotionally abusive to her and borderline physical when he's alive, but then he frames his death in the trailer. You see, he's like, oh, he's gone, but he actually just like absolutely, completely has this weird plan to get back at her from what people think beyond the grave.
Or does he?
Or does he? That's it. But no, the trailer looked really,
know? I
really
haven't seen
good.
it.
Oh, yeah, me neither.
Because it kind of had the kind of slasher vibe, supernatural feel, but also an odd bit of like social commentary for like gaslighting and the creepy stuff that stalkers can get up to. Oliver Jackson Cohen's in this as well. Who you know from The Haunting Hill House. He was Luke in that. He's back in the sequel to that, so that's really good casting. And I think the last like really good Invisible Man film that I even remembered even tried something like this was Verhoeven's Hollow Man, which was completely different. But
The
this
League
is,
of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
You know, what a banger.
Was that not with Hollow Man after that though? Maybe.
Oh, I don't know. I'm
No.
joking
Yeah.
when I
Yeah,
say
I was
that
just thinking,
movie
yeah.
anyway. But it's
But, like-
a terrible film.
But the thing is though, like the Invisible Man has been part of the Universal monster universe for years. There's been films from since back in the black and white era, but they never really made an adaptation that I can remember. Like you've had The Mummy, you've had vampires, you've had all that stuff, but they've never done this in the horror mode. And it's Lee Winnell doing it, who did Upgrade, and he did Insidious Chapter 3. And like Blumhouse are involved, and they're usually a good bet for this. So, it actually looks really good. So,
Okay. Well, let's take a look at The Invisible Man, if you can see him. Okay.
As the attorney representing Adrian's trust, I'm required to read a prepared statement. Cecilia, although our relationship was far from perfect, I thought that you would talk to me rather than run away.
Are you okay? What happened to him?
He cut his wrist. Per his final wishes, you're getting $5 million. Contingent, of course, on the fine print. He can't be ruled to be mentally incompetent.
It just doesn't make any sense.
What?
Adrian wouldn't kill himself.
Listen, you're getting your freedom back, okay? Don't let him haunt you.
Hello? I'm scared.
You don't have to be scared of him anymore.
He was a sociopath, completely in control of everything. He said that wherever I went, he would find me, walk right up to me, and I wouldn't be able to see him.
Are you okay?
Someone sitting in that chair.
We had a horror last week as well. We had Knives Out, but recently we had The Grudge.
Yes.
And one of the most exciting things about that was the cast that was involved with it. And then with The Invisible Man, we've got Elizabeth Moss. You mentioned Handmaid's Tale. She's unbelievable in Mad Men and The West Wing as well.
And she was decent in Us as well for playing that.
Yeah.
She had a limited role, but she was pretty memorable in it.
But she seems to make really smart, good decisions when it comes to what movies or TV series she's involved in. So it kind of adds to it, like Blumhouse plus, because they normally have maybe a few unknowns in their movies as well, but the fact that she's attached to it as well, and she seems to be like doing the full range of like, oh my God, she's going bonkers. And it looks unbelievable. Excited about this one?
Yeah, very excited. I think it's going to be really, really good. And the trailer is just so creepy. Really had me like...
Checking over your shoulder.
Check, check.
She's there.
Yeah.
That's what you want from a horror.
So when's that out?
28th of February. So yeah, it'd be a good one to look forward to after
Oh,
Christmas.
like
Yeah.
nearly a Valentine's Day
Yeah,
movie
lovely.
as well.
Yeah,
Valentine's Day
absolutely.
movie.
Yeah.
Cutesy
Yeah.
cutes. Need
Yeah.
to hold on to
Rory's
someone
type
because
of
you're
Valentine's
scared.
movie, I'd imagine.
Oh
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
was that deserved? I don't know. Maybe.
That's normally the kind of slagging Owen will give me.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just
I
because
did
I'm
like
wearing
it.
a nice shirt this week. You have
That's what
nothing
it
to
is.
say.
Oh, we're both wearing navy shirts this week.
Yay.
Matching. Right, so that is the big trailer on the Big Reviewski. You can check out the full trailer. It's up on Joe as well. Now, though, it's time for the first of our big interviews this week. We've got lots to jam in. We mentioned last week with the full review of The Good Liar, starring Helen Mirren and Ian McKellen. It also co-stars Russell Tovey and is directed by Bill Condon. And he's a good director. What's he got under his belt? Beauty and the Beast. What else?
Chicago.
That's one of your favourite films of all time as well.
Is
the
it?
musicals?
Yes.
Your favourite musical of all time.
Yeah, that's not
Is
the
it?
same.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
You should just change it up, Rory. No, it isn't actually. I don't like that at all.
I don't know
I don't know what
Keep
you're
him on his
saying.
edge.
But
Who
is
are you
it like
talking to?
saying
Yeah.
like a favorite musical doesn't necessarily mean one of my favorite movies of all time?
You're getting told everything today. He's telling you your favourite people. He's telling you your
I
favourite
know.
movies.
Denise, that's why I'm
Nobody
so happy you're
understands
here,
me.
so you can really understand the
Yeah.
level of abuse I've
just
taken on a
please do
weekly
what you're
basis on
told.
the
I
show.
know.
What did you talk to Bill Condon? And
Another
Russell
C
Tovey
word.
about? This is your favourite interview of all time as well.
It's with 3 weeks we've been trying to get this interview on the show. Yeah, the full interview is up on Joe, and it's also one of our bonus features if you're listening in on the show. The clip that I picked from Bill is when we were talking about how TV have kind of taken over mysteries and kind of murder mysteries, especially when it comes to cinema. It's like Hitchcock used to do them really well. And then when I was watching this, there was definitely Hitchcock aspirations anyway. But I was trying to think of like the last one where there was a really strong Hitchcockian vibe. And I think maybe A Simple Favor from last year, which is a tie-in for your next interview.
Yep.
But before that, I had a tough time thinking of like, oh yeah, that's Hitchcockian. So yeah, I was asking him, why do you think for a genre that we all love, I think,
Yeah.
it seems to be dying away from cinema, and he gave a very interesting, intelligent, and articulate answer.
My name is in fact not Brian, it's Roy.
To the future.
How much do you think she's worth?
Nearly £3 million.
You're going to take the lot?
You bloody bet I'm going to take it all. Is that your grandson?
It's too soon to be getting so close to him.
I've grown very fond of you.
Do you know who you are? You're the only person on this planet who makes me feel that I'm not alone.
I know things about you, who you really are. You don't want to do this, Roy. It's the game. It's the adrenaline rush. What if it is?
Yeah, I think the genre got, like a lot of genres, when you think of Westerns in the 60s that suddenly got co-opted by TV, I think mysteries got co-opted by television early on, and then even as television has gotten, more sophisticated, I think twisty-turny things, plots that twist, I think that's a big, part of what makes TV work these days. So, and it's a shame, I think, because there is something, right now, you only go to movies, I think, for the communal experience. That's why music-driven movies are popular, and frankly, why spectacle and comic book movies are popular. But in this case, that sense of being the audience when the penny drops, right? And when it's like, I've seen it with an audience 3 times now, and there is this one scene which I'd loved in the book and really was looking forward to seeing, with an audience, and it happens. It is visceral. That's the pleasure of it, So it's a shame that so much of that has been taken over by the home viewing experience. And I hope, I think there are a number of movies. There's Knives Out is coming out a few weeks after we are. So you hope that this and that's one of those true kind of puzzly murder mystery things, anyway, hope we're onto a new trend.
As Paul would say, worth the wait. 3 weeks we've been waiting for that answer.
A long time coming.
Worth it though.
Worth every second.
Are you glad that you were here today?
I'm so glad to witness that. Yeah, that was a moment in history right
Made me
there.
rethink cinema in a whole different light.
Even better, Russell Tovey. Talk to him about
Yeah, Russell Tovey, who is not Ian McKellen or Helen Mirren.
Okay.
But he is Russell Tovey.
Thanks for clearing that up.
He is the third lead, I guess, in this movie. And again, lovely guy, chatted at length about what it's like to be on screen with 2 legends like that. But Russell himself he's been very forthcoming and outright with the roles that he's chosen, because he himself is an out gay man. And a lot of the characters he's played on screen have been out and members of the LGBTQ community. Just in terms of the roles that he's been offered, I asked, was there any? Did he perceive any major changes in his career? Just in terms of progression and representation.
Yeah, totally. It just feels like visibility has gone up like 1,000%, and that's incredibly exciting, because that's how it should be, and it's still got a long way to go on every level, on all diversity. Everything needs to be blown up, and everybody needs to be able to see themselves represented and have the opportunity to represent themselves and other people. And that is, I feel like that's definitely, we're in a world now where people are way more conscious of making sure that we are showing diversity, whatever it is, on the screen.
Russell Tovey, one of the stars, along with Helen Mirren and Ian McKellen, of The Good Liar, which you liked for the most part, and then so you said like one of the most bonkers, you'll never see it coming twists of all time ever?
Yes, and not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like that makes no sense whatsoever way.
But just not even that it was no sense. It was just more of a, oh, okay. Like it's like starting a normal sentence and all of a sudden just saying sandwiches and then that's the end of the sentence. You're just like, what?
Okay.
Why?
That happens.
Type of sandwich.
Sometimes. Great question. Wow, it was a great question. Oh, he's writing down. Great question.
He's probably more prawn sandwich.
So The Good Liar, it's still out in cinemas at the moment if you want to go and check that out. But a brand new release, which we will be having a full review from Denise coming up very soon is, I'm just going to go out and say it because it is the title of the movie.
Yeah.
Last
Go on.
Careful.
Last Christmas. I think it's the first time I've said that.
I thought you were going to sing
like
it
this year.
I thought you were going to sing it in the George Michael style.
No,
Oh,
Rory's the
please
singer
do.
on the show.
Give us a note.
Take it away.
That is so painfully inaccurate.
So Last Christmas, starring Emilia Clarke and Henry Golding, two unbelievably likeable people.
Very unattractive, though.
Very unattractive.
Yeah, hard to watch.
In a movie with Christmas in the title. And it's also using loads of the songs from George Michael. Is it Wham as well? Both of them?
Both.
Yeah.
Both. So what's not to love about this? It's also directed by Paul Feig, who directed Bridesmaids and Spy with Melissa McCarthy as well, and also was one of the teachers, of course, Ghostbusters.
Simple Favor.
Simple Favor.
He's done stuff.
He's done some great bits.
And he was one of the teachers in Sabrina, the Teenage Witch
he was
as well.
a science teacher, wasn't it?
You know, unbelievable, what a guy. We will get to Paul in just a moment as well. Yeah, Paul Moore.
Great name.
But Denise, you had the chance to go and meet the director himself. How was he?
I did. He was fabulous. Yeah, he was really dressed up. He looked gorgeous. So it was very hard for me to go in there and not like the film. Because he was just so fabulous. Meeting him was just amazing. But obviously I had seen the film before I went to meet him, and I was worried as to why the film was just so awful.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I really didn't like it. I just really didn't like it.
Stay tuned
and
for
I
a full
love
review in
cheese.
just a couple of minutes.
So
but,
yeah.
Well, do you like Christmas?
I love Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you like cheese?
And I like cheese. So I was really like, why?
Okay. Interesting.
I think that is the full review.
Yeah, I think that's the review sorted. Well, let's take a little look
Yeah.
at the movie first. Who knows? It could be class. Let's take a look.
I mean,
could be.
Christmas Miracle.
Isn't it though?
Look, okay, it's not my fault.
I bet nothing's ever your fault, is it, darling?
What?
You have thrown away your life working in some silly Christmas shop.
Baby, don't cry.
Hey, Elf! This is my little helper. I have nicknamed her Lazy the Elf because she appears never to work.
Father, don't let Christmas get me out of here.
What?
Jesus, where'd you come from?
Well, what are you looking at?
Probably a falcon.
Oh, damn it.
I think you just pooed in your eye.
Yeah, I think so.
It's good luck, you know.
What is?
Getting pooed on by a bird.
I'm busy, you're weird. Goodbye.
You see, I still think it looks good. I'm still excited.
It does. And like I'm
I don't care what
probably
you say.
making it sound worse than it is, and then you'll go and see it and you'll be like, what the hell was she on about? This isn't that bad. But it's not like awful, but it's not good. So it falls somewhere in between. Like they use George Michael's music and they try and make it make sense to the storyline.
like Mamma Mia.
Yeah, like Mamma Mia, but without it being a musical, even though Emilia Clarke does sing at the end of it. And just the whole thing, like I love cheese, and I really, really have to get that across that I love cheesy movies and storylines. I'm like, this would never happen to me, but I wish it did. But this is just so ridiculously.
Do you think whenever you go into movies, you're like, I wish this happened to me?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
Like in like rom-coms, I'm a bit like, someday, you know.
Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
Here's my Lotus.
Here's
Sorted.
my
Yeah.
Lotus, yeah. But yeah, with this one, I was just like, oh, come on. It just, what happened was they overstuffed the storyline with loads of things that just had no depth. So you couldn't really connect to any characters, or you couldn't really feel for anyone because everything was just so lightly glazed.
Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're describing a turkey.
Yeah, I really...
Overstuffed and glazed.
Overstuffed and glazed,
And
yeah.
it's a
It is
Christmas-
Christmas
yeah,
film,
no,
so...
I
Let me
get
explain why
that.
it's funny.
Mark yourself down for that one.
No.
What did you get chatting to Paul about then?
Yeah, so basically, I had seen that the reviews were so shit. So I was asking him, how does he deal when the reviews are quite bad? And this is what he had to say. When it comes to the reviews and everything like that, you're great to react with people on Twitter, and I always see you messaging everyone. It's fantastic. But what do you do to make sure you don't become too engrossed in what people are saying?
Well, you know, I check it when we first come out. I just want to know what people think, you know, because that's really where you can get some good, authentic feedback on the internet, because you are interacting directly with the people. It's more of a way to check in for me to go like, are we doing the right thing? Am I giving voice to things that people care about? You know, I think as a filmmaker, you really have to be in touch with your audience at certain points, just to know that, you know, we're making movies for them. So, you know, it's like a chef going like, oh, I'm cooking dinner, but I don't care what people, if they like the food or not. It's like, you kind of want to know, like, is there anything I need to do different? I need more salt?
Yeah, no, it's probably the best way to do it as well. But is there a lot of nerves before a film comes out just to see how it's going to be taken in?
Yeah, I mean, when a movie's about to come out, it's just so nerve-wracking because you've worked so hard on it for a year plus, and then with all the marketing, you're making decisions. It's like, is this the right way to market? Is it going to be tell too much? Can tell too little? You got to get people interested in it. And then just the nervousness of like, are they going to show up? And that's kind of the exciting thing too.
I know, it's showbiz, I suppose.
Exactly, it's showbiz. Thank you.
You see, that's the thing. He's so likable as well.
He's so fabulous.
He's dapperly dressed too.
So dapperly dressed. He's really, really just a fabulous man.
No wonder you couldn't focus when you went to do it. You're just like, oh my God.
Yeah, and I was like, you make some of my favourite films of all time. Like, Snatched is really up there, even though I feel like everyone's like, why? But I love Snatched. I think
Wait,
it's
is that the Goldie Hawn one?
Yeah, and also Amy
Schumer
Schumer is in it too, yeah. She's like cleaning herself in the bathroom, and it's just hilarious scene. Oh.
So you want to talk about Snatched instead of that?
Yeah, I actually spoke about Bridesmaids because that's another fantastic film that he has created, and I asked him, obviously, will there be another sequel? And he gave me a little insight into that. Yeah. Obviously, when I was coming to interview today, people were like, you have to ask about Bridesmaids. I'd say you're like, I'm blue in the face from hearing about this, but
no.
Is there ever going to be a sequel to Bridesmaids, do you think?
It's up to Kristen Wiig. She's the genius who wrote that movie. So, who knows? I wouldn't bet money on it either way, to be quite honest. But, if there's a great story to bring those characters back that, was different from the first, then sure, I think it'd be fun.
You'd be on board, so.
Sure, of course. Work with that group? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, absolutely.
So much fun.
Bridesmaids 2 would be amazing.
Would we call it Bridesmaids 2?
Bridesmaids, Bride Harder.
Bride Harder is good.
Bride Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah.
I like all of these.
Yeah.
But it'd be great to see Chris O'Dowd back.
Oh, it would. Well, it would.
Yeah, it would, Rory.
No.
I think he was my least favourite part of the first one.
You're my
too
least
nice.
favourite part of
Who was your favourite
John
person?
Hamm. I preferred John Hamm.
John Hamm was incredible as
He
well.
was much more
they can
fun.
both come back.
Yeah.
That's fine. Ham over cod any day.
I like that one.
Would you like a sequel to Bridesmaids? Would you watch it? Yeah?
Oh,
yeah?
100%.
Okay, I'm glad.
I remember I went to see Bridesmaids whenever it first came out, and I was sandwiched in between two ladies who absolutely... Questions after.
Okay.
Absolutely were roaring laughing. Like, I was laughing as well, but they were both snorting so much. It was that kind of laughter. They couldn't control it. So basically that big snort sandwich in the middle of the cinema.
Yeah.
And it was a brilliant cinema
There's a lot
going
of poorly
experience.
chosen words in that description.
So I would happily return for a second helping of a snort sandwich.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Fair,
Definitely.
fair.
So Kristen Wiig, we need to get her to write one.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay.
Or Rory, you were thinking of a...
Were you going to write one?
You were going to write...
I'll write one. Like, if she wants to come over, we'll sit down, we'll bash one out. But
Rory, Kristen Wiig. Yeah.
But like a co-written one.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Put
why
your
not?
hands together. Get the two of them there.
Yeah, but that, like, if it was based on one of them getting divorced, then they all came together to make them feel happy.
I think that's a good idea.
That's a good premise.
Like a divorce hen party.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
whatever you would call that.
X-Maids.
What's the opposite of a hen's party?
I like it. But
Okay.
There's something there. We'll figure this out. We'll figure this out. But anyway, Last Christmas, the film you don't want to really talk about, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm
going to come across like such a grump on this and everything, like, it was really bad. But it's
Denise,
not,
the Grinch Curtin.
it's not really
Christmas
good.
is awful. And you do hate
Why do you hate Christmas?
I usually love films
hate
on this.
children? You're like Rory.
It's never me that hates the film, but I didn't like this. I felt like such a critic in it. I was like, not to my liking.
Well, tell me this. What's it about? Because obviously, Emilia Clarke, Henry Golding, we've had a couple of off-air theories about what happens.
And one on-air theory.
So Emilia Clarke works in like this Christmas all year round shop, and she's like struggling to be a West End actress, and she's trying to kind of find her way, and then cue Henry Golding, who like tries to help her find her way and find her purpose in life. And then there's a humongous plot twist.
No.
And then
Okay.
that's it.
Okay, and that's
And
it.
then that's
okay.
it. All right. I did say there was a plot twist, didn't I? In the trailer.
Oh, like
Yes.
there's a
Oh,
plot
no,
twist,
well,
and like a ridiculous plot twist, and then like happy ever after. That's kind of
Okay.
That's
I'm going to go
it
see
in
it.
a round.
This time next week, we're going to, we won't spoil
I
it,
hope
but
you don't come in now and you're like, it was so good. I'll actually be angry.
I'm actually scared. Okay, so Last Christmas, one of the tests of any good Christmas movie is its poster. And I don't know if you've seen this tweet that's been doing the rounds where somebody has compiled
Why is this a
collection.
test of a Christmas movie?
Because it kind of proves whether it's in like the proper kind of Christmas spirit whenever they're marketed around this time, whenever they've released it.
All right.
Yeah, you'll see now in a second.
I'm excited to find out.
So, tweets down the round where somebody's compiled, well, there it is up on screen, the Christmas posters for, I don't know, there must be like the guts of nearly 100 or something, 80 to 100. But if you look at every single one, it's like a guy and a girl.
Yeah.
One of them's wearing green usually, one's in red as well. Maybe a bit of snow and a bit of sparkle in the background.
Yep.
The word Christmas in the title as well. Have you seen any of these movies? These are all Hallmark classics. No, the one's in there, Fur Crazy, F-I-R.
I pointed that one out earlier and I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
There's also a Merry Xmas, but X is spelled E-X, so it's
Like,
to do with an
imagine
X.
saying my favourite Christmas film is Christmas Cookies.
Christmas Cookies.
Christmas, the fact that you say cookies.
Cookies.
There's
Cookies.
like
A gift to remember.
Merry Xmas is in there, so that kind of ties in with the Bridesmaids one there as well.
I just said that.
At least
Oh,
half
did you
of
say
these.
that one?
Yeah.
Sorry, again, I don't listen to anything you say.
So
Yeah. But one of the most striking ones
Father
out there,
Christmas?
Engaging Father Christmas,
Like,
sounds a little
are you
bit...
getting engaged to Father
Well,
Christmas?
Or is it a warfare
Or
Is it like
film?
Warfare?
Or
Lock
is
and load,
Father
engage the
Christmas
target, yeah.
particularly interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Just a lot to unpack.
That's
So many
a messed
questions.
up one. Hallmark is supposed to be releasing 40 new Christmas films this Christmas.
14?
40.
Oh, 40.
40.
So we'll have
Shane Black is
another...
directing them all.
Yeah, we'll have another sheet of posters as well. But
Yeah.
one of the ones that stands out for me is kind of over here on the right, and it's Pottersville, because most of the people are unknown in this. But if you look at this poorly photoshopped poster, you've got Michael Shannon,
I thought that was him.
Judy Greer, Christina Hendricks, and from looking at the cast list, you also have Ian McShane is in there as well. So this one, and Ron Perlman as well. This one actually has a decent cast. But and Pottersville, A Magical Life is a real life film from 2017.
None of those people were...
2017. This is not even old.
Where Michael Shannon at Christmas time dresses up in a gorilla suit. Some people spot him and they think he's Bigfoot. And in order to keep customers and tourists coming to his shop, he has to keep dressing up as Bigfoot.
That is not
Well, that was clear from the title.
That is not what I thought that film would be about.
Yeah, and Pottersville is
There's no mention of
There's no even picture
there's
of
no
a
gorilla.
Bigfoot.
It's- Look, it looks like
Is that
Michael
not-
Shannon's head has just been answered on.
Is that not your man from
Other movies as well.
Adam Sandler? No, not Adam Sandler. Forget it.
It's gone.
He's very recognisable though.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
No,
Best Space,
no,
not
it's
him?
not him. No, no.
All right.
He's
Charles
in
Boyd.
a lot of things though. He's not in Horrible Bosses, is he? No. He's in something.
He's in this.
He's in this.
He's in Pottersville, A Magical
If
Life.
you
That's
gave
what I
me
was thinking
10
of.
euro to say
Yeah.
what that film is about, I would never have got Gorilla.
About
in a million
inebriated
years.
gorilla
Yeah.
pretending
If you
to
give
be
me
Bigfoot.
€10 and said, "Is this a real film?" I still would have said no.
So you can keep an eye out for those 40 brand new movies
Yeah.
from the Hallmark then as
Yeah.
well. So the
We'll
test is,
be reviewing every single one.
Every
on
single
Big
one,
Reviewski.
yeah.
as we said, the poster test for Last Christmas. Can we see the poster for Last Christmas and see does it tick the box?
Oh, see, the poster's fabulous.
Look at that.
It's a great poster.
Sometimes you've just got to have faith.
Like you'd wish they'd recast it with more attractive people, but aside
Yeah.
from that,
So it has the word Christmas in the title.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
has a guy and a girl.
yeah,
It has
Has
somebody
He's
wearing
looking at
green.
her and laughing.
Snow,
It's got
green.
snow and
Twinkly.
sparkles.
Yeah.
It's even got a wee bonus heart in there as well.
that's the bit of red.
That's a bit of red. It's perfect. So
People
it
were
qualifies.
saying that it was the 2019 Love Actually before anyone ever saw it. You know, there
Until
was,
they
you
saw
know,
it.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Last Christmas. It's out in cinemas this week. Happy Christmas,
Where are
everybody.
they?
They're sitting on like wee park benches.
They're
It looks
in-
like they're in the middle of a blizzard and they're kind of all right about
They're
it.
somewhere in London anyway. That's definite.
That's
Okay.
established.
Yeah.
So on Denise's recommendation, that's going to be a Christmas hit.
See it for
Definitely,
yourself.
100%.
That's what I say. That's my take-home message.
No, that's not what we say here. We tell them either to go or not to go.
No, because I'm afraid someone will see it and tell their friends, and then I'll be the wench.
Well, that could be us
You know?
next week.
You'll be. It's pronounced Grinch, but yeah, okay, that's fine.
But,
Rude.
but
Yeah.
people will be, they'll be up a bit of money from not spending, so they'll appreciate that.
Yeah.
True.
They can
This
spend
is-
it on sea presents.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is true.
Last Christmas isn't the only movie released this week. We also have Le Mans 66.
The men.
And before we take a little look at Paul's review, we'll listen to it as well. Here's a sneak peek of the movie.
Suppose Henry Ford II wanted to build the greatest race car the world's ever seen, to win the 24 hours of Le Mans. What's it take?
Well, it takes something money can't buy.
Money can buy speed.
What in about speed? You need a pure racer behind the wheel of your car. That's Ken Miles.
I don't trust him an inch.
We heard he's difficult.
No, Ken's a puppy dog.
Vroom, vroom. Car movies. Do we like car movies? as we said, this is the reason we had our big question today as well with all our.
Do we like
favourite
car?
cars.
Well,
I know it's
like Fury Road isn't a car movie, is it? No.
There's a lot of cars in it.
a little bit.
Like I like Fast and Furious, so
Yes, this is true. Paul, Le Mans 66. What the heck's it about?
Really, really liked it. You mentioned car movies because I went in thinking it was going to be a certain type of car movie, which you got used to over the last few years, the likes of Senna and Rush, which are not really about sports, but are kind of more about the ego behind the wheel and like the conflicting rivalries and stuff. And the reason why I mention these films is because even in the title, which isn't what it's called, it's Le Mans 66, but it's Ford versus Ferrari. I thought it would be kind of along those lines, but it's very, very different. The story, it's set in 66 and Ford General Motors are having a massive slump. I mean, they're producing these thousands and thousands of cars, but no one's really buying them. They don't really have that hallmark of quality. And at the time, the GM, Henry Ford II, throws open an idea to the floor and says, how are we going to change our image? Because we're not perceived with quality. We're just kind of just going through the motions, making these big horsepower cars. At the time, Ferrari, Enzo Ferrari's company, are financially at risk, but Ferrari are synonymous with excellence and winning and style and, Formula One. And they frequently win the Le Mans race, which, if you know your Formula One's a 24-hour test of endurance, the best drivers, and all that comes with the Formula One trappings. But Ford thinking, I'm going to turn it around, I'm going to enter it in Le Mans, and they go make a bid for Ferrari, but they're laughed out of the room. But there's a guy, Carroll Shelby, who was an ex-American who actually won Le Mans, who Ford contract. He's played by Matt Damon, and he has a team with Christian Bale, who's a real-life driver called Ken Miles, who's kind of down on his luck, has a garage.
There's a driver called Ken Miles.
Miles, I know. Which is we had James Glacier last week for the Aeronauts, and now Ken Miles.
It's perfect. Meant to be.
Perfect name.
Sidebar.
Go on.
What's her face?
Owen.
Felicity Jones. In real life, that character was a man. Was a man.
Right.
And it was a woman in the film.
Oh, that happens sometimes.
It's not but I thought it was a biopic.
Oh, you thought it was real?
It was real.
I mean, elements of it were real.
But they were like, here's the story. And it was a man.
Wait, do you think Mad Max Fury Road is a real movie as well?
That's not based on...
That's in the Bible. So it is. So.
I'm just saying as well.
Well, Felicity Jones is a man in this, but Le Mans is very, very good.
Oh, okay.
Basically, what they do is Ford invests in Matt Damon and his team, but because Ken Miles, played by Christian Bale, isn't as glamorous or as well known, he's kind of a gruff journeyman English driver, but he knows cars so well. He puts in the hours. He even helps Matt Damon design the car. But because Ford is about perception and marketing, and they want this pristine image to sell, they want someone a bit more bankable. It sounds like it's a Formula One film, but it's actually not really. This gets really heavy, but it's actually a very clever treatise of like that stubborn kind of male mentality of like, if you see the right choices in life and you could play it safe and you can kind of play the career game and make them go along with your bosses even if you know they're wrong, or do you stick to what you kind of know and think that if I do it this way, okay, I might not get all the glory, but I know in my heart that I'm kind of like, I made the right decision, I can live it myself. And I think everyone kind of, this is really cheesy, but like everyone has those decisions they come through, and it's really clever. Directed by James Mangold, who I think is really, really good director. Like obviously Walk the Line, everyone loves him now because Logan, but even before that, Copland was outstanding. Walk the Line, outstanding. 3:10 to Yuma, which Christian Bale, massively underappreciated film. He has done a few duds. He did The Wolverine, but oddly, I think this is almost a bit biographical because it's more about the mistakes in getting to the finish line, which I think Mangold, it's kind of like a reflection of his time in the Hollywood system, listening to people above him, telling these terrible ideas and stuff like that. And I know I'm describing something that doesn't sound anything like a Formula One film, but that's exactly it. And Matt Damon, it's so good to actually see him use his talent, because he's been, I think, like I'm a huge fan of Matt Damon, always have been. But I looked at his list of films here. We've got the Fort Bourne film, kind of uninspiring in comparison.
Downsizing was one of his most recent ones.
The Great Wall, Suburbicon, like really anonymous stuff that doesn't stay with you. But I think he's a really good actor with the right role. He's a really charming kind of Americana, kind of like that McConaughey role that we know McConaughey so well. But he's very good at playing this kind of middle management guy who has one foot still in the pit, and he knows Bale's mentality, like, I want to support my guy, but I also have one foot in the corporate world and I need to secure my future. And the film kind of hangs in that balance. Like, do you go for the risk or do you play it safe? Bale's very good. The character is kind of a gruff, so it's a real character as well. So not that charismatic, but he's a family man. He has to look after his wife, played by Katrina Balfour. And Katrina Balfour, she's very good. She's very good in it too. So it's not just a male film, although it is kind of answering those questions of like the stubbornness of some guys and seeing the right decision but deliberately ignoring it elsewhere. It's really good. You've John Barenthal as well in there, who's always good value. It's a true story as well. It goes without saying the Formula One stuff looks great on camera. I mean, like Mangold has style to beat like any director. But I think, like all the best sports films, it doesn't have anything really to do with sport. I would really, really urge it. It's still a bit too long for my taste. I found after
24 hours.
Yeah, exactly, not as long as Le Mans, but after the final race, there's a very it doesn't really know where to stop, but there's a logical reason why it doesn't stop there. But I felt it could have ended a bit earlier, and there's parts that drag. But as a performance piece, it's really, really good, and it's a really interesting story because I knew nothing about it going in. And what I thought it was going to be was completely different. So yeah, I definitely urge it. It belongs up there with your Sennas and your Rushes if you like those, if you're a petrol head, or even if you're not.
Okay, brilliant.
You really sold that
Yeah,
one.
no, definitely, 100%. It's weird for a Christmas movie, but I'm in, definitely, 100%. So that is out this week, Le Mans 66 as well.
66 Men.
66 Men. Don't Google that. And now our other release that was actually just a couple of days ago, but it's in cinemas now, is Midway, the brand new movie from Roland Emmerich, who will always have a special place in my heart for Independence Day, in spite of everything he tries to undo that goodwill towards him. Rory, what is Midway about?
Midway is if Pearl Harbor, but Roland Emmerich.
Okay. But Pearl Harbor with Michael Bay, like those are two relatively similar
You would think,
kind
wouldn't
of
you?
things.
You would think. This one starts with the Pearl Harbor attack, with special effects from PlayStation 2, and then proceeds onwards to tell the story of the Battle of Midway, which was the turning point, apparently, in World War II. Here's a clip. And then, I'm both barrels. They're coming.
Here we go.
There's this kid. He didn't think he could cut it. I figured it was just the usual jitters. I take him under my wing. He was right to be scared.
Pearl Harbor is the greatest intelligence failure in American history.
This can never happen again. I want to make it right.
At least some of the boys still want to fight.
The Japanese are planning something bigger.
So what's the target?
We believe it's Midway.
Washington disagrees.
Washington is wrong.
If we lose, the Japanese own the West Coast. Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles will burn.
We got the order to launch. We need to throw a punch so they know what it feels like to be hit.
We're talking about a couple dozen planes against a whole Japanese fleet. This isn't a fair fight. I don't know how to lead these men.
They'll follow you anywhere.
If you know that you came through when people are counting on you, you'll be able to face anything.
read one thing about this movie, and I need to know whether it's true, because the main star, the lead, is Ed Skrein.
Ed Skrein from Deadpool.
From Deadpool.
Yeah.
And
was it his character name?
It was his character name.
Yeah. Yep.
So we've had Ken Miles.
We have had, yes. Yeah. So there is, I'll let you say it.
Okay.
There is a line of dialogue that begins with men like
Dick Best.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So his name is Dick Best.
Dick Best.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Dick Best.
Yeah.
Dick Best. Yeah. Mandy Moore is his wife in this, and that's
not as funny.
Not as funny.
No.
But there are points in the film where people say to her, "Why are you acting so much like Dick Best?" And
I have 5 stars. I love this movie already. Yeah.
I think given time, people will look back on this in the way that people kind of look back on Top Gun. But if you take out quality and replace it with just homoeroticism. Just homoeroticism.
From start to finish.
From start to finish. It is a lot of, like, you know, like the line in Top Gun is like, "I'd ride your tail anytime." Is that
you can be my wingman. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot
haven't
of
seen Top Gun 100 times.
It seems like every single line in this film is basically that line.
Okay.
Except replace with Dick. Yeah.
Dick. Well, Dick Best is always there.
It's always together.
And sometimes it will raise its head.
Okay.
And sometimes it will go back.
And sometimes it ducks down.
And sometimes it goes back on the surface.
Rory, you got a rise out of own there.
Well, like you can... Right, so the cast is... there's times where I was like having a tough time picking who was, because so many of them look kind of the same. Like Aaron Eckhart's in this, who looks a little bit like Ed Skrein, who looks a little bit like Patrick Wilson, who looks. Dennis Quaid is in this, and he's an admiral, but then he gets scurvy, and he can't be an admiral anymore.
Wow.
There's a lot of things happen and then stop happening. Nick Jonas is in it.
Okay.
Nick Jonas is in it with an accent that I don't think anyone on earth can place, but it's definitely not one I've ever heard before. I think it's supposed to be New York, but it's also maybe Mario from Super
Maybe
Mario
he's trying
Brothers.
to be Italian American.
There's a chance of that, but I don't want to speak for Nick. Ned Skrein really swinging for it with the accents as well. The other guy, Luke Evans.
Luke Evans is in it, right? Okay.
With what I can call a mustache as his acting. Woody Harrelson with maybe the singular.
Now you're just listing actors. Are these people all in this movie?
Yeah, Woody Harrelson has maybe the single worst wig I've ever seen in a movie.
He's had some bad wigs.
So the costume department was obviously low budget.
Costume wasn't great. Apparently, it's the most expensive independent movie ever made. It's $100 million snake.
Wow. It's the cost of the cast.
Yeah, it was the cast, and it was mustache budget,
name budget.
Yeah, Mandy Moore's crimper, because she has. Look at her there.
Good
great
crimping.
hair.
Good crimps.
But she's the only woman who comes out of this with her with good hair. Everyone else is either wigged or Nick Jonas.
Yeah.
Who also has a mustache.
Okay.
She's not on the ship, is she, Mandy?
No. She spends the entire film in her
ship.
kitchen looking out a window waiting for her husband to come back home from Japan. Because it's a World War II
Women
movie.
have to stay in the kitchen.
Yeah. I think if they had realigned it 1 degree, it could have been like the airplane of war movies.
Right, okay.
Like it was, you could see.
It's so close.
It's so close.
It's so close.
But they play it just this gauche too seriously.
Okay.
And seriously, when Dennis Quaid is like, "I'm never living up this post," and then he has scurvy on his neck, and then he can't be an admiral anymore. But the film doesn't seem to care. So World War II still happens. So I was like, why was he in this film?
It sounds like you loved Midway.
It was 2.5 hours long.
Oh, Jesus.
So
wow, okay.
Yeah, like it's not quite up to the level of what was the film earlier this year? It was like you have to see it even though it's terrible. Serenity.
Serenity.
It's not quite that level of what, but there is seriously, Christ. Just looking at the screen there now, I remember there's a lot of the special effects are not good, and all the fight scenes are exactly the same because sometimes they they're on the boat looking at the fight in the sky, and you see there's 15 or 20 planes firing at each other, but you don't know who's playing as who. You're hundreds, if not thousands of feet away. And all the planes look the same. So when one blows up, you're like, was that one? There's 2.5 hours of that.
Okay.
And you don't know who made it until the plane lands again.
Should
You're
just
like,
have,
oh,
just
he's alive.
This toupee floating on the waves.
Yeah, exactly.
There it is.
Okay.
No, it's definitely not a toupee. It's real white hair.
So no to this.
So no. So we got Midway, we've got Le Mans, and we've got Last Christmas, but it seems like Le Mans 66 is the best of the bunch this week.
I feel like you two pulled the short straws now.
Yeah.
This week anyway.
Well, no, I appreciate taking the bullet, going
Thank
to see
you.
them as well.
Well, you're
So
taking the
cheers.
bullet as well.
Well,
see.
just sitting
Should
here
make the two
listening to you
last
talk about
Midway.
it.
Just make the two of them together. Christmas film.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So they are all out this week, so you can go and check them out if you're that so way inclined. Again, like, you're still selling it to me. Like, I still want to go and see. I'm definitely going to go and see.
Well, you're going to see Last Christmas anyway, so look.
100%.
I didn't change anything for you.
Yeah. So now it's competition time on the Big Reviewski. If you would like to win yourself some Omniplex tickets, all you have to do is get the right answer to our high clue. And we do have congratulations to dish out to last week's winner. But I want to remind you, we really raised the bar last week.
The answer.
Because the person who won, a guy called Insane Ian, he submitted a picture of himself dressed up as the lead character from Shaun of the Dead. He dressed up as Shaun, and he also took a picture of himself in that costume with Simon Pegg, who plays Shaun in Shaun of the Dead. So
That's very cool. Yeah.
It was like there was no way you weren't going to win.
And he did that in less than a week.
In less than a week, which is phenomenal. So the big question this week, I know we've had the big question, but our other big question is, will people raise the bar this week and go to those extreme levels to answer this week's high clue? So first of all, the high clue was museum threesome, baby sister is older, righteous dudes run down. For fuck's sake, I forgot it. So
dudes.
Righteous dudes. There's nothing wrong with the way I say dude anyway.
You say a sentence, I'll repeat it. Go on.
Museum threesome.
Museum threesome.
Baby sister is older.
Baby sister is older.
Righteous dudes run down.
Righteous dudes run down.
It's like Scottish. It's like William Wallace over here, like.
Dudes.
So dudes is dude apostrophe S.
Yeah, you really is it? Dude apostrophe S?
Yeah.
Dudes.
In this one, dudes.
And
the answer, of course, to last week's high clue was
high clue. High clue.
That's good. I like. Yeah.
I can see it on the screen.
Oh, right. I was like, yeah, it is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I was like, boom. I didn't realise that the answer had appeared behind me on the screen. Yeah. But it is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That
As
is
if
correct.
I'd ever get something that
No,
easy.
I was like,
I've
yes!
never guessed it. I'm always like,
I'm so happy. It's like, boom,
yeah.
straight in with it. It is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. The first line museum threesome is because the three of them go to the museum in Chicago on their day off. Baby sister is older. Ferris's older sister in the movie is played by Jennifer Grey, who also played Baby in Dirty Dancing.
And Rachel Green's best friend in Friends.
This is also true. So that's a baby sister is older. And then righteous dudes run down whenever the secretary in the school is listing all the people who love Ferris. And she's like, the jocks love him, the dweebs love him, blah, blah, blah.
I hate him.
You hate him? I know you hate him so much.
Can we agree that Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the main character, isn't Ferris? It's all about Cameron. Yeah.
Ferris Bueller's a douchebag.
But she said, well, she doesn't think, so she says, they all think he's a righteous dude. So he's a righteous dude. And then he's run down because, one, he's off sick, so he's run down health-wise, and he's also run down at the end of the film because his sister hits him with the car whenever they're running home as well. Okay, Rory.
You don't make these easy, do you?
No, they're not supposed to be easy.
No.
I can't watch Succession now and now think of your man from Cameron. I
haven't watched it yet, so don't say
he's in it.
Yeah.
Okay, but
that's the extent of
it. But
oddly, I don't want to hear anything else.
But oddly, I can see Matthew Broderick and other stuff, but I can't shake him.
Well, speaking of Matthew Broderick, did this week's winner go out, track Matthew Broderick down?
Or any of the cast.
Or any of the cast. Well, because Broderick has a house up in Donegal as well.
Oh, he does.
So, no is the answer. But congratulations to Ed, who within 30 seconds of the tweet going up online responded with, Ferris! and an exclamation mark, and he got it straight
Should
away.
not be save Ferris. We can an exclamation mark.
You
Then.
should have said save Ferris as well.
Yeah.
So he'll be getting those Omniplex tickets as well. But now, though, it's time for this week's competition, High Clue. So pens at the ready, brains at the ready, everything at the ready. You ready?
Nope.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. No, the answer doesn't pop up on
don't-
screen
Okay,
for this
great.
one. This one is Amazing Fish Hunt, Holden Held Accountable, Dies Another Day. Those 3 lines again. Amazing Fish Hunt, Holden Held Accountable, Dies Another Day. So Holden in the middle line is Holden, Holden. And in the final line, it's Dies, Dies. That is this week's High Clue. Do you have any kind of inkling as to what
Got
it
it.
might be?
No,
Sorted?
No, I don't at all. Absolutely not.
Don't mess with it.
I
And
know.
Rory has written something down. And Rory has got the correct answer.
Rory
Look
Hardley.
Look at the smug face on that over there. Look at, can we, no, we can't get it close up. Lean in with your
Just
smug
sit
face.
closer to the
Just
screen.
sit closer to the
I
screen.
think I have it now.
You've seen it.
No.
No, don't whisper because you're mic'd up.
Oh.
Everyone will hear it at
Oh,
home.
you
Just
couldn't
write
hear
it
it there.
down.
I actually couldn't hear what you
Oh,
said
okay.
because you were screaming.
I
loud.
was-
Why
I
don't
was
you
trying
I'll
to-
write it in pen. I'm trying to like write with my finger.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not
While
paying
they
that
do
There's no ink in your fingers.
Yeah.
finger writing over there. Let's take a look ahead to next week's show. We have, very
What?
exciting. We've got Frozen 2 is coming up. We're going to have a full review of the brand new sequel to the smash hit from 2013.
We're not saying anything, but we've seen it.
We've seen it.
Both of you have seen it
Yeah.
already.
We
Yeah.
went on a little movie
We
date.
went on a date on Tuesday and we saw it. Yep.
Class. Brilliant.
Yep.
Were you invited?
Nope.
Yep, me either.
We'll also have Chadwick Boseman, the star of Frozen 2. He's going to be on the show as well. Is Chadwick Boseman in Frozen 2?
Maybe he wants
I don't
to be.
think he is, no.
He might want to be.
Bosen 2, Chadwick Froseman. Nah, don't
He is
think
in
so.
that 21 Bridges.
He's
film,
in
though.
21 Bridges
Yeah,
as well,
yeah.
so we will have an exclusive.
You might
interview
want to
with
talk
him
about
as well.
that one, you know.
Yeah,
instead.
that's a great show.
Frozen 2.
Yeah.
You think we're just going to allow
Frozen
that just
2,
to
yeah.
pass us by?
Denise, as ever, thank you so much
Thank
for coming
you.
on the Big Reviewski. Have
Yeah,
you enjoyed your
it's
time
been
here
wild.
today?
Yeah.
It's been something.
It's been a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
not
been
going to
a
lie.
roller
There's
coaster.
been highs and own.
Yeah, there's yeah.
I do need to apologise for my, if I have freaked anybody out this week, we have got like a weird...
Pink eye.
Pink eye.
People say pink eye.
Yeah, because it's
not
pink
You
eye.
prefer sex injury. Yeah.
Wait, is it? Yeah, let's go with that. But I
We all remember
I
the
was
discussion
bringing
from
these.
from Knocked Up. We all know what happens.
You
Yeah.
brought your grandmother's sunglasses.
Yeah, these are an old family heirloom. They're
Heirloom.
very sentimental. She had pink eye. She passed it to the next generation. They had pink
Stop
eye.
farting on
Wait,
your
that-
pillows.
Pass it to me, and
Is
I
there a
have pink
chance
eye,
you got it
and I
from the
will
sunglasses?
Very possibly. Both eyes. So I feel like a weird version of Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth. So yeah, Denise, thank you. Rory, thank you. Paul, thank you. Behind
Owen's
the
eye,
scenes,
thank you.
Colin, thank you. Thank you to both eyes. Paul as well, behind the scenes, Stephen Paul, Ian as well. And everybody at home, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing as well. And we will see you next week, hopefully, if our eyes manage to reopen
Your
properly.
eyes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just
Okay.
like,
Stay
the
away
rest
from
of us
those
could-
glasses.
We're all fine.
Not one of us has pink eye, but
No,
you.
but you.
Come over and take a
I
closer look.
absolutely
No,
will
no,
not.
I don't want to.
But if I squeeze it,
Oh,
like
and
this,
just
will
let
you
it
see
go, right?
Yeah.